One hockey player from this country who dominated its domestic league in the 1970s and 1980s contract was too expensive to be bought by the New York Islanders, and his son ended up being a fourth-round pick in the 2010 NHL draft to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Another player from this country was the youngest player on Team Europe in the 2016 World Cup of Hockey by almost 3 years. Other than Tom Kuhnhackl and Tobias Ryder, other players from this country include Marcel Goc and Marco Strum, who led this country to a silver medal in the 2018 Winter Olympics. The leading scorer in the 2019-2020 NHL season, Leon Draisaitl, was from, for 10 points, what country where domestic teams play in cities like Munich and Berlin? And the answer is Germany. This trade sent running back Darren Nelson to the San Diego Chargers. However, he would re-sign with one of the teams in this trade. This trade allowed for one team to draft wide receiver Jake Reed, who would put up a total of almost 7,000 total yards and 36 touchdowns. This trade saw a total of 18 total players being traded, making this an NFL record. As a result of this trade, one team used one of their first-round picks acquired in the trade haul and trade up with the Pittsburgh Steelers to select future Hall of Famer running back Emmitt Smith, allowing him to kickstart an NFL dynasty in the 1990s. For 10 points, what NFL trade is notable for sending the 1982 Heisman Trophy winner to Minnesota, starting the Dallas Cowboys dynasty of the 1990s? And the answer is the Herschel Walker trade. One radio personality from this country traveled to Mozambique to lift a curse on this nation's national soccer team placed by a witch doctor during which they did not qualify for the World Cup in 32 years. Johnny Warren was a key figure for the modernization of this country's national side, which was the last team to win the AFC Asian Cup on home soil. This country's national team plays in a stadium that was built for the 2000 Summer Olympics. Mark Schwarzer, a former goalie for Middlesbrough, is the all-time leader in appearances for this country's national team, which is set to compete as the invited team to the Copa America in 2021. Tim Cahill played for 10 points, what country whose team is nicknamed the Socceroos and draws players from clubs in cities like Melbourne and Sydney. And the answer is Australia. This player's first career home run came on a game-tying run in a 2012 game against the Houston Astros. This player was a 12th inning pinch hitter in a 2018 game against the San Diego Padres before hitting a walk-off single that sent home Gorkys Hernandez. This player, who won back-to-back Silver Sluggers in 2014 and 2015, also hit a grand slam in a 2014 game that led his team to an 8-3 win. This 2014 World Series MVP hit 2 home runs off Zach Greinke in an opening day 2017 game. This player is the highest active pitcher in career home runs. The Arizona Diamondbacks signed for 10 points what former ace for the San Francisco Giants known for his hitting ability. And the answer is Madison Bumgarner. The latest team to do this feat from New Caledonia was Hygiene Sport, who became the first club not from New Zealand to complete this feat in their confederation. Defense Force is the only non-Mexican club to complete this feat in CONCACAF, while Yomiuri, now Tokyo Verde, is the only AFC club to complete this feat. The latest CAF club to complete this feat is Esperance ST of Tunisia in 2011, while no club in South American clubs have ever completed this feat. The first club in UEFA that completed this feat did it with their famed Lisbon Lions squad, while Ajax and PSV completed this feat before the rebranding of the European Cup. However, the most famous occurrence of this feat came in 1999 as Manchester United became the first club to complete this feat in the Champions League era. For 10 points, name this feat in which a club wins their top-tier league, their primary cup competition, and the major continental trophy in one season. And the answer is continental treble. This draft was the last draft hosted by an NBA team in the Western Conference. This draft had a total of 8 players selected who would never play in the NBA and was the last draft to have a senior in college selected first overall. This class would see a combined 3 players become future players become NBA All-Stars, and only 1 player from this draft class would be selected to an All-NBA team. That player, Michael Redd, would be selected with the 43rd pick by the Milwaukee Bucks, while the Rookie of the Year for the following season would be picked up by the Orlando Magic with the 5th overall pick. For 10 points, name this NBA draft that was headlined by Kenyon Martin, considered to be the worst draft class in NBA history. And the answer is the 2000 NBA draft. Before their success, this university was nicknamed Tumbleweed Tech. The first NCAA tournament appearance for this school occurred in 1975. However, their first Final Four appearance occurred 2 years later, losing to the eventual tournament runner-ups, North Carolina. This university signed head coach Chris Beard for 19 days before leaving to coach for Texas Tech and has not made an NCAA tournament since 2013. This team has made a total of 4 Final Four appearances in their history, all led by head coach Jerry Tarkanian. This university's best appearance came in 1990, in which this school won the national championship in the most lopsided title game in NCAA tournament history, beating Duke 103-73. For 10 points, what school plays their games in the Thomas and Mack Center and is nicknamed the Runnin' Rebels? And the answer is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV. In a 2013 NFL game in this country, Steven Jackson ran for 2 touchdowns in the only win that season for the Atlanta Falcons that was not at the Georgia Dome. Kosovan immigrant Liriam Hajrullahu was signed by the Los Angeles Rams after previously playing kicker for a team in this country. Mark Rypien was the first NFL starting quarterback to be from this country, and Pittsburgh Steelers' second-round pick Chase Claypool went to high school in this country's city of Abbotsford. In Madden 20, potential team names for a relocated team to this country's largest city include the Huskies and the Mounties. The Buffalo Bills lost a 1961 preseason game to the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a team from, for 10 points, what country whose football teams include the CFL's Toronto Argonauts? And the answer is Canada. One failed plan in 1999 attempted to build an indoor one of these sporting venues near Pittsburgh International Airport. One of these sporting venues was refurbished for the purpose of including it in a video game. The most highly attended college football game in history was held in one of these venues in Tennessee, and one of these venues in Michigan was used to build a near replica of it in California. Two companies abbreviated ISC and SMI own a majority of these types of sporting venues used at the top level of competition, and one of these sporting venues has Lake Lloyd in the middle of it. For 10 points, name these sporting venues which include famous ones in places like Talladega and Daytona. And the answer is racetracks. 2 answers required. After a game between these two teams, commentator Mark Boyle said, "Ring the bell, baby, ding dong, the witch is dead." The first NBA meeting between these two teams came in 1977, in which Bob McAdoo led all scorers with 36 points in a loss. Before meeting for the first time, both teams combined for 3 ABA titles and 2 NBA titles. The last time these two teams met in the playoffs was the 2013 Eastern Conference semifinals, which lasted a total of 6 games. However, their first best-of-7 series was the 1994 Eastern Conference Final, in which the eventual winners would go on to lose the NBA Finals to the Houston Rockets in 7 games. However, one of their most famous games would be Game 1 of the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals, in which one player managed to score a total of 8 points in the span of 9 seconds before going on to win the series in 7. For 10 points, name the 2 teams led by Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing in the 1990s. And the answers are the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks.